Hello and welcome to Flipflops and Notebooks Book Reviews. I am Elliot, and if you want to know why I'm particularly sad about this review, the book I'm talking about, then stick around and I will share my true feelings with you. I am talking about Hester Fox's new book, A Lullaby for Witches. Yes, A Lullaby for Witches. Got me anxious. The more I'll talk about it, the more anxious I will get. So stick with me. Let's share these feelings. Right, so first of all, thank you to the publisher Graydon House and NetGalley for providing me a copy of this book. All of my opinions are my own. I just adored Fox's other book, The Orphan of Cemetery Hill. It was just beautifully written, and I was super excited about A Lullaby for Witches because just it has witches in it, and it's a lullaby, and it had the book blurb had elements of what I really liked about Fox's writing. So yay, I was really excited. And I have to admit, or I have to confess, that I've been noticing a shift in the publication process, if I can say it that way, or if I can call it that. I've noticed that sometimes there's a final polish missing of a story, of a book that's about to publish. And I think at the point where we get the RC advanced reader copies, there's not a whole lot of stuff still going on. I could be wrong. I've noticed plot holes, abrupt endings, and unfinished characters, and that really gets one anxious. Or at least it gets me anxious because I'm like, why? Why plot holes? Why are these characters that aren't fully fleshed out, developed? Please, I'm reading this book. I'm really interested, right? I'm also sad because I know the quality of the author's writing is so much better. So I was just kind of like, what is this? Why? Alright, so this is where my anxiety really kicks in, because there's so many little tiny details that were almost right, but just weren't. It was like almost there, but it's like when it's almost, and it just gives you a little bit of a twitch because it just quite isn't there yet. And the entire story just felt like a big tangled web. And not in a good way, not in a kind of mystery way where you then at the end kind of see it make sense. This one was just tangled. It was a dual narrative, 1800s and the present day, so there were two protagonists, and there were connections that kind of tied them together, but they were not very well explained. And again, it's like you sit there and it's like, it makes no sense, or it kind of makes sense if you squint. If you squint, you don't look hard enough, but you kind of do look hard enough just from the corner of your eye. It kind of makes sense. So it's just like, right now, I can't even quite tell you how they were properly connected. And yeah, the protagonists themselves were not very consistent in their personality. At least I didn't see it, and I was kind of like surprised when some changes happened, and I was just kind of like, I was confused. I was confused why this person, this protagonist, this character was all of a sudden acting the way they did when the motivation was kind of there, but there were no indications that this person would go that way or would act that way. And it just really wasn't possible to connect with them, with each other. Something was missing. Yeah. I've noticed that this was a book that was best read in one sitting, because then it kind of kept the confusion a little bit at bay. once you're in it, you kind of like, okay, I kind of sort of get it if I don't think too hard on it. But if you take a break and come back the next day, it takes you a really long time to get back into it, because all of a sudden you have all these questions and you can't remember how we got to the point we're at in the book, in the story. And around 60%, I got really exhausted, and it started to get really drawn out, and it was kind of like, okay, what's going on? It's like, it was just, it kind of ran a little bit out of steam, so to speak. The plot was shrouded in mystery, if I can be so dramatic. It's hard to explain, and there were a lot of loose ends. They were just tucked in wherever they sort of fit. It's like, oh, here's a loose end, we can just like, tuck it in there, hopefully it'll stick. But it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. It didn't fit properly. So again, it's like I'm sitting here going, I can't even tell you, because if it doesn't make sense, I can't remember it properly. And then I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And all of this, again, makes me very sad and anxious, because Fox's writing is still very good. And the epilogue shows her true talent. It really shows that she has talent and skill in storytelling and story writing, but for some reason it kind of got lost throughout the entire story. But let me just read you like a little bit from the epilogue. Don't worry, it's not going to give anything away. It just really shows the beauty of her writing style. Gradually, winter snow blanketed the grave, dew delicately pawing it in search of sustenance. Snowdrops, peeking through the thawing mud, were the first harbingers of spring. Their roots probed downwards, drawing up the decomposing body into the white petals and weeping leaves. A hungry rabbit nibbled on the tender green shots before scampering away. As warmer air swept in, the white flowers died, and the grave spread over with brambles and bitter rue. Right? It's kind of really nice. I wish it would have been just beautiful throughout. Sorry for being so brutally honest. The verdict. It was missing the last polish to make it what it should be. Spellbinding and addictive. It just wasn't quite there. Just a couple more sessions of reading through it, working through it, and I would have like been over the moon. I would have been like a total fangirl right now. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Anyways, that's enough from me. Of course, I want you to read the book yourself. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of it, because two people can read the same book but never the same story. So thanks for watching.